Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Day9 from Day9 TV.
And I'm Rob Simpson from Blizzard Entertainment.
And it is time for a game point between Facebook and Google here on the After Hours Gaming League Week 5 action. We do have from Team Facebook trying to secure another win on the table. We got the Winkle Toss in blue.
And his opponent down here in the 6 o'clock, currently trying to close out the series for Google, playing as the Lavender Protoss. We've got eScake.
I assume that the emphasis is on that S. Once again, these two teams are playing it out for a chance to get into the top 3 positions and advance to the playoffs. It is absolutely essential that those teams in white try to battle their way back, but what we're watching right now is Facebook versus Google as those teams try to battle it for that #1 slot in their group. Right now, it's all up to Winkle Toss to try to bring that game back.
Ooh, man, and this is going to be a PvP for the ages. Both the players starting off with a standard 9 pylon. Oh, man, and it's looking like that Google pylon's finishing just a little bit faster.
eScake from Team Google. Connect you for the win. Winkle Toss trying to use the AHGL as an advertising platform.
Well, don't you know
Friendster?
the AHGL is the vehicle in which advertising travels through? I was making that eSports vehicle joke.
Oh,
didn't
work. Nailed it. I have absolute faith in that sentence that just occurred. Now, of course, to note, all the players from the After Hours Gaming League are members of these major corporations. And just so you know, the big corporations
are
aren't
people.
Yeah, they're real people. They just like playing video games. The coders at Amazon, Intel, Facebook, Google, they all love playing video games, and that's why they are here in the After Hours Gaming League. Both players going for a very standard early expand. It looks like a bow tie of waypoints is about to form. Oh, he just needs to join. No, that thread is actually going to be hanging.
So close to tying the noose around his opponent's neck with waypoints.
And there it is. Bam! It is complete. And wow,
that's it. We know who wins.
The Winkle Toss did plant down a cybernetics core a smidge behind the Google Protosses.
Now the question is, will both of these players end up gets the surround on the Winkle Toss. First blood goes to eScake.
Winkle Toss at a little bit of a Winkle lost with the death of that one probe. Yes, that is right. eScake looks like, gonna try to steal the gas, but no cigar. Looks like it's going to be a double gas. What is eScake going to do? It looks like he has an early second gateway. Probably going to be the 3 stalker push. Very popular strategy. You get 3 stalkers out, push those units back, and then what happens? Well, not a 4-gate, which means the game gets to go on a wee bit longer.
Ooh, and forcing your opponent into doing anything generally means that you did a successful strategy.
That is absolutely true. It's all about trying to limit the options of your opponent, because then no matter what he does, you have a smaller space of things to consider. Looks like eScake just checking his own base for some sort of pylon. He is now taking his second assimilator. In the meantime, Winkle Toss has not really done much other than take his 2 gases. He's still on just 1 gate, chrono boosting away. And in the unit counting station, we see both have halted at 20 probes. None are making any more, but a surprising lack of chrono boost on the warp gate.
Oh man, and once again we do have those stalkers coming out into play for eScake. And Winkle Toss over here just pumping out more probes. He's actually starting to save up a whoa, yes, please.
Yeah, well, it looked like he was
that Robo.
He was going to be making up some more probes, but no, it looks like he's going to be going Stargate the Phoenix opening. Oh, so popular in the current metagame. Players love the ability to harass with those Phoenixes, get some guaranteed probe kills, and there's the robotics facility coming down right now for eScake.
And no doubt he's going to start off with, well, actually, we'll find out because it's almost done. It's at about the 50% mark. He does add an additional gateway as well. Man, I thought that Stargate changed into a Robo. I was so confused. Protoss just mixing it up in this. And Winkle Toss adding another gate of his own.
Looks like we see the 3 stalker push from eScake. Ooh, narrowly missing the probe of the Winkle Toss. And it looks like the Google Protoss is going to be just trying to poke around, put a little bit of pressure on, even though he hasn't spotted any forward pylons and he probably can't break the ramp. It can't hurt to just poke and try, and it looks like, oh no. Wow. eScake gets a stalker and his eyes get big. It's time to push up, and a single sentry there repels that push, and a second sentry for the Winkle Toss.
Yeah, so Winkle Toss really showing him who's boss, landing that force field, making his cake turn around, and we now see those 3 gates added on. He's also adding his robotics bay for the Colossi.
Looks like Izcake wants to try to sweep in with a huge 1-base push, getting those Colossi up mega fast, but now the Winkle Toss has a pair of Phoenixes. He's going to spot everything, going to begin the harassment. There's 4 gates going down for Winkle Toss. Looks like he's going to go Phoenix into some sort of 1-base huge counter push. And there's the cancel on the robotics facility, and it looks like Izcake is going to be going Blink instead.
Now, with enough micro, we actually saw earlier that Izcake is really good with paying attention to what exactly his units are doing, really taking advantage of his opponent being on hold position at the ramp there. And now we see another Phoenix getting added on. Will Winkletoss be able to make these Phoenix worth it? Because so far he's really only gotten vision with them.
And I mean, it looks like he's killed off a couple of probes. If he can kill off a few more, that would put him in a great spot. He does have a little bit of the worker lead, but he's trying to dance around all these stalkers. The stalker count is continuing to increase, and the real danger for Izcake is the moment Izcake leaves his own base, you know there's going to be Phoenixes waltzing right into his main, picking off so many probes.
As long as Izcake is confident that he has enough stalkers to push through his opponent, he really shouldn't be afraid to get out there and push. I know that he's going to be waiting. Actually, wow, did he already finish Blink, or...
Looks like he may have not yet started. It's actually only just recently finished, and he's been spending a lot of that gas on some emergency stalker numbers, which means that he hasn't had enough gas saved up to get that Blink. And now Winkletoss is trying to step in, try to find some angle. No, he needs to pull back. But fortunately, he has seen that there's no Blink yet. There it gets started.
And out here, Winkletoss is really just maintaining. He's really just been staying on pumping out those additional air units. Now he is just about to get out his first Immortal. If he's able to get a couple more Immortals, he may be able to hold off this large stalker push. It's really going to come down to Winkletoss's ability to lift off those opposing units.
One thing that's really nice about the response that we are seeing from Izcake is that he's taking a very quick expansion while getting Blink, chrono boosting a lot of probes. The one real problem that the Winkletoss will have is that, I mean, honestly, you just can't lift up a building with a Phoenix. That's not part of the game.
Unfortunately not.
So this is a great way to say, well, hey, if you're harassing me with these Phoenixes, that's fine. If I'm going to be defending anyways, I may as well do the best with my defense that I can and throw down an expansion. And it looks like Winkletoss is taking the opportunity to do a little bit of the same as well.
Yes, so Izcake has just added yet another layer to his macro dessert. Goodness, wow, he's got a couple pylons now building out there. Now where he has that observer, that means he is going to be able to blink right up onto the cliff, and that could put Winkletoss in a rough spot. Winkletoss now getting back there, taking advantage of those out-of-position stalkers.
No, the blink, and he loses one Phoenix. Will he lose any more? It does not look like it. These Phoenixes do have a ton of energy right now. Looks like they are dead even in the worker count. There has not really been that many kills by the Phoenixes on the worker. He needs to start getting 5, 6, 7 kills. And oh no, there's Izcake. Going up to the high ground, it looks like Izcake has managed to pick off that observer as well. You see the Immortal stepping back. Winkletoss trying to do a small split, but he's got to be super careful because we see that the Blink Stalkers are starting to advance forward, and there's another round of Warp Ends.
Oh man, he's going to need to pull all of his other units from his natural out immediately. Now the Stalkers are able to get in those picks onto the Phoenix from the low ground, and it's looking like Winkletoss could possibly hold this back if he's able to keep those two Immortals alive. Oh no, with the unfortunate right click.
Oh, he just right-clicked at the wrong angle at the wrong time, and now the Winkletoss from Facebook looking so good, building more Immortals, killing armored things with Immortals. Exactly what Winkletoss wants to do.
Man, that Winkletoss getting in there and putting that aggression to sleep. Now, surprisingly enough, both these players were able to get up both of their Nexi, and they're just going to be pumping their economy for a little bit more. Additional Immortal coming out into play for the Winkletoss.
Looks like Izcake does have a good scout on the top side of the map. Again, there's nothing wrong with checking expansions at any moment. You never know when your opponent's going to sneak an expansion. We did see that happen in game number 1. Winkletoss now is getting up a Twilight Council of his own. I would assume that Winkletoss is going to be going for a little bit of Blink. The Facebook Protoss wants to try to have that equal footing maneuverability to his opponent.
He does, especially in a position where, once again, he is currently the clutch player. If Facebook does not pull through this, Google could very well be the first team in the league to take a win from them.
Winkle toss looks like, a couple of assimilators popping down. Needs to start doing a couple more tech advances. Oh, Winkle toss getting a Dark Shrine. Is there even any detection from his cake? Well, he does have a robotics facility, and in fact, we are looking at observers all throughout the game. He absolutely has detection. He will use his detectors to do that.
Detectors do detect quite a bit while providing detection. That could mean that those Dark Templar would be detected.
Indubitably, Rob. Looks like a Warp Prism coming up right now for Cake. Wow, and Zella leg speed. Looks like he's moving in for another swing, and amazingly, despite being somewhat far behind, has pulled himself back together with some really solid macro, and this army is mainly reliant on Immortals. So what that means is that Winkle Toss is not nearly going to be as effective against this huge swing in of speed Zealots.
Oh man, Iskaki going for the push. We could see this little...
Could see this Warp Prism at the back do damage. It looks like the Phoenix is starting to move in, and it will end up missing the Warp Prism, and at the front of the base, oh no! A force field at the ramp, and Winkle Toss caught at the exact worst angle. He's trying to take it out on the rocks. He is not against the rocks, and there we see some very nice force fields, and Winkle Toss, who was in a great position, suddenly on the ropes. The Warp Prism at the back might not even need to be used. Right now, Cake is in amazing position. Cake continuing to gather up more and more and more of those Blink Stalkers, but this is going to be a really killer move. Cake does have the Warp Prism in the back of the base, but does he have that Warp in around? He has to Chrono Boost on those Warp Gates, and there it looks like even the observers are pinging us, and there a ton of Zealots swing into the back, and with that speed upgrade, killing off all the drones.
Oh, charging right into the worker line, and there they go, chasing them out. Now, there's only a few of those units getting up there to deal with the Zealots, and the Zealots are pretty much going to have free reign over the space. Oh man, he's going to power down a lot of buildings by taking out that single pylon.
No, and it looks like Cake might continue to warp into the main, but oh no, a force field at the ramp. Cake in amazing position. A beautiful come from behind, a series of attacks that are really leaving his opponent in a tough spot, but Winkle Toss with the DT counterattack. Oh my gosh, what a great counterplay by Winkle Toss from Facebook.
Oh man, it's looking like it may turn into a base race, potentially. Where are the observers? Okay, so he gets one into the main. Now if he's able to clean up these other Dark Templar, he is in fantastic position to potentially finish off this game. Now he does have a lone Dark Templar out there fighting off the army of Cake.
Cake trying to manage both battles at once, accidentally runs back into that probe line, and in the meantime, it looks like the Winkle Toss loses his natural expansion in the main. Winkle Toss not doing too well, but it looks like at the same time, Cake has managed to take out that series of DTs and is stabilized on two bases.
Wow, unfortunately for Winkle Toss, he did get in there. He had a great opportunity with his Dark Templar, but he just was unable to finish off that natural, meaning that right now he's behind a base, and Cake has a lot of units.
Cake now continuing to gather up more of those fully upgraded gateway units. The Speed Zealot, the Blink Stalkers, head straight into the main, circumventing that natural expansion, trying to do a whole bunch of pylon pick-offing. Oh no! Depowers those same buildings again. The Warp Prism might be down, but the Observer Blink Stalker troop is in the main base, and Google, who was 3-1 in their group, didn't want to avoid losing, manages to win the series convincingly 3-1, and that does mean that after week number 5 gameplay, we see that Google manages to take the win in Division 4, meaning they are first place with a 4-1 score.
Ooh, pulling ahead, being able to take that win off of Facebook must feel very good. They're now going to be first place heading into the playoffs.
That is true. All these teams will be placed into 4 round-robin playoff groups of 4. And you'll note that that is 16 players, or teams. There's 16 teams. But there's only 15 highlighted. There's only 15 highlighted. That is correct. There is a wild card match to decide who is the 16th team. We'll be going into that after this brief break, ladies and gentlemen, to let you know that a wild card match in the AHGL is a 5-way free-for-all on a 4v4 map. Because who doesn't like having fun to decide the 16th seeded team? We'll be back with a 5-way free-for-all with these teams of the After Hours Gaming League: Geek Squad, Pipeworks, AMD, Western Digital, and FactSet after this brief commercial break.